Because the priest said, as a child I didn't experience the devil. I had a little experience since my mom said that was the devil, but I wasn't convinced. My mom said it, she was on one side. Well, I can either believe her or not. But I knew, since I was told, that devil is bad. Devil is always the unexplainable, the unpleasant, isn't he? And I experienced the other side of existence. They call them angels. What's the difference between devil and angel? I was thinking about it. When this question arises, one asks, where are they from? Who on earth made them? Hold on, who on earth made them? In the question there is the answer. Who made them? God. Who made them? God. But why on earth did God create the devil then? Why not only angels? Because I realized angels can do good for me, and I can heal myself with their help. They can bring success into my life. They can bring happiness, pleasant nights. They can help me to have a good rest at night. I can sleep peacefully without turning from side to side. There is no fear in my dreams. I'm not sick. I can help others. I can fill a space with their energy, and people feel in peace there. So I realized they can help me with lots of things. But then why on earth did God create the devil? What for? If the world could be so good, why don't they teach that in schools? Why don't priests teach that in religious lessons? Why don't they put that into primary school class 1? Why not? If angels can give you knowledge, if they can teach you to grasp everything very easily, why do children have to struggle and read something 25 times to learn it? Why don't they teach them to work with angels? A million questions rose in me, a million. When these questions arose, I stopped my work with angels, and I told myself, until I understand this whole thing, I won't work with them. Simply not. Well, I couldn't stick to that, because without them my life was quite complicated. I was tuned into them on such a level. Then the other extreme also appeared in my life, what we call devils or demons. I realized that once I took up communication with one side, the other side automatically appeared. Since the dark side wanted to pull me back to their world, where angels had lifted me out. They wanted to pull me back to their world. Then I had to communicate to the side of light, but I still didn't have understanding. No, 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 and no. I was taking steps forward on my path of spirituality. I got to lots of foreign countries. I wished to understand the attitude of lots of different religions toward angels and God. An interesting thing happened in 1999, and then I was able to get the answers I'd been seeking. What I'm going to talk about today, parts of these understandings were already ready in 1999, up to 75%, but they were still in pieces. There was nothing to glue them together. There was a little bit of understanding here and there, but it wasn't complete. I couldn't understand it. I didn't have an overall view. I couldn't see the logic in it. It was important to me that what I understand, it shouldn't be just the understanding of a spiritual person, but I would find logic in it with my sober peasant mind too. If I can find logic in it, it's applicable in the world of reason or logic. Isn't that so? Then you can use it. If it lacks logic, I can't use it in the world of reason. And something which I can't see the logic in, I won't use it as a spiritual person either. No, I simply won't use it, not even today. Since I know that God is an intelligent genius, He's an amazing genius. God is an amazing genius, and everything that I realized His genius can be understood on a physical level too. In 1999, I traveled to Israel. I went out there. An interesting thing happened to me. I've already told you that story, but it fits here a bit better. I have a house in the Zemplén Mountains, as high as the town Hollóháza. The place is called Vágásruta. That was a place where I went to retreat from the world. I used it quite often before. Today I seldom go there. I think the house fulfilled its role. Sometimes I feel I don't even have to go there anymore. At that time I went up to my house a lot. It's high up on a peak, almost 800 meters high. So I went there like the bird who eats cold food. I mainly spent some time there in autumn and winter. I meditated a lot, played the drums, listened to music, or simply gazed into the fire and wished to gain some understanding there, all by myself. Then I went there in 1999 at the end of November. In the evening I went to bed at about 9 p.m. I had an early night, and at 4 a.m., it was still completely dark. I woke up in that pitch dark. I didn't really open my eyes, just started to turn around, and I noticed that I woke up to a voice saying, "Tell me the names of Jesus' 12 apostles." Oh my God, what's that? I thought. I'm telling you, I was a spiritual person. By then, I was able to communicate with spirits, but I got a shock. An oat seed wouldn't have fit into my asshole. In spite of locking the house before and being on my own in the room, I simply heard a voice in the room saying, "Tell me the names of Jesus' 12 apostles." If you were asked that, it would be quite a task, I think. But imagine, as a child, I knew it by heart. First was Peter, then Andrew, Jacob, John, and so on. I knew it perfectly well as a child. And at the end of November 1999, a voice is telling me, despite being on my own in the room at dawn, around 4 a.m., between 3:30 and 4, "Tell me the names of Jesus' 12 apostles." And I started to say it like a sheep, Peter, Etienne, and I got stuck in the middle. I couldn't continue it. Once more, I started it again, and I felt like a dumb child who is told by the kindergarten teacher, "Come on, try it again, say it." I told him I couldn't. The voice said, "I say before you, repeat it." The voice started to list the names and I was repeating them. We said the names together about 10, 15 or 20 times. The voice said, "Now, you do it alone." I started and managed to recall all the names. He wanted me to repeat the list again, so I did it again. "Tell them once more," he said. I did so, loudly. Imagine, I was talking aloud the whole way through. The voice asked me, "Who is the 7th apostle out of that 12? I answered quickly, "Thomas." "Who is the 7th? "Thomas." "Sure?" "Sure." "When were you born?" I told him the year and the 7th of December. "When?" "The 7th of December." He asked me again, "Who is the 7th out of the 12? I told him, "Thomas." You may know that 999 is a number of Christ, while 666 is a number of the devil. You must have heard of that. So the voice told me in 1999, on the 7th of December, I would be standing in Bethlehem in the Church of the Nativity. Well, now I knew he was pulling my leg. I was certain, since I was not planning to go there, never had the desire to go there, and it was 2 weeks till my birthday. You see, it was 2 weeks till the 7th of December. Only 2 weeks. Okay, I told him to go away, to beat it, and I thought, oh, the devil is playing with me again. I told him to go away. That's it. The voice left. In the morning, I woke up, had my breakfast and tea. I planned to spend a few days there, but since the devil moved into my house and didn't let me sleep, God forbid my staying there. I got into my car, drove down. The nearest small town was a few houses away. That's where one takes the road to Sátoraljaújhely. I turned and my phone rang. I took the call. One of my friends was on the line. "Hello, do you remember me?" he asked. I said, yes. He said that the Israeli government was inviting 20-something or 30 people from Hungary, priests, travel experts, lawyers, and so on. They were looking for a spiritual master too. "And I suggested you," he said. "Keep cool." I pushed the brake, stopped, engine is off. And then I realized it wasn't possibly the devil who visited me at dawn. He asked, "What's wrong?" Nothing. "Are you coming?" "Of course," I said. "Yes, everything is arranged. The Israeli government is paying everything. You are a guest." I still didn't take it seriously, because if a voice was able to talk to me in the room, it would be able to talk through the phone. It might be a joke, I thought. So when arriving home, I called my friend back. "Was that you?" "Yes." "Is that for real?" "Yes, it is." "What do you need?" "Tell me your passport number only." Let me tell you the story. In 1999, on the 7th of December, I was standing there in Bethlehem, in the Church of the Nativity. That's all. This experience was so reassuring of their existence to me. It put a crown on everything, that they really watch over us. Their attention is on us, if we are willing to be open towards them, if we are willing to turn to them. It's a very intriguing story. And now let me tell you who they are, okay? Who are they? I'd like to go back to the beginning of the beginnings. You might have heard that, if you are interested in these things, that the time physicists say there was a Big Bang. So a Big Bang took place. That's how the whole story, the creation of the material world, started. Have you heard that? Yes? Being a spiritual man, I support science in very few things, but in that case I totally agree with them because they tell the truth. I put it a little differently, though, but essentially I say the same. I say God spread himself out. The two things are the same. From one, everything was born. The Big Bang theory says something exploded. Everything was born from that. But this is a chance occurrence, since an explosion is not predictable in its outcome. When I say God scattered himself, it is planned, yes? It happened according to a plan, okay? So something happened. The philosophy of many religions and spiritual books say that the first things created by God are the angels. The Jewish mysticism, of which the Christian mysticism developed, since Christianity is only a Jewish sect, if they want to learn about God and creation, they look up the Jewish mysticism or the book of creation, Genesis, or they use Torah, the book of Jewish laws. I'd like to tell you that Jews don't have a story of creation. What you can read in the Bible is actually the story of creation of the Sumerian, and this Sumerian story of creation is written in simplified form in the Bible. The Sumerian story of creation has a lot to do with you, that nation who we call Master of Seeds or Magyar, Hungarian. Since the ancient Hungarian hieroglyphics, 30% identical to the Sumerians. Imagine, 30%. You don't believe it. It's a lot. It's 30% coverage. Amazing. So I say we have a lot more to do with this so-called story of creation than the Jews. I have no problems with Jewish people. I love them and I teach everyone not to hate them but to learn from them. Just learn. They are very clever, intelligent people. So, the story of creation says God first created an angel. Do you know that? And God named the first created being Lucifer. Have you heard of him? Lucifer, or the bringer of light. If I wanted to translate it into Hungarian, it means the bringer of light. The carrier of lux, so Lucifer, carrier of lux or light. So he is Lucifer, the first created being. And the story says God created a few more angels, 12 archangels who helped God in creating the universe. God has helpers in the universe. I didn't make it up. You can read the first 3 pages of the Bible. It's written there. God says, let us make man. Let us make man. So God says he has helpers in creating, and with their help he's going to create a man. And there was a great dreamer, a magnificent dreamer, an amazing genius who dreamed that whole world. And he made his dream come alive. His parts, his angels helped in the process of creation. Do you know how your Bible starts? Imagine, that is a holy book of 3.5 million people. If the Pope saw you right now, he would burst into tears, I'm certain of it. It starts as follows. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Have you heard that? You have. Now you remember. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Created. We don't know much about that. The starry sky itself, the inconceivable itself, the incomprehensible, the infinite, the universe. Our scientists are starting to find out a lot about our universe, but I'm telling you, we don't know much about it, only a poppy seed amount. We guess things, we try to explain things, but that is not quite true in that form, since they figure out different theories, and almost monthly those theories prove to be unsound. They know that our universe is still expanding. We live in an expanding universe. The time physicists say, ask one of them, for example, György Egeli, he is a spiritual person too. So they say that we live in an expanding universe. In other words, the creation is still happening. Imagine, the creation is still happening. So God's helpers, the angels, are still widening the creation, the universe. They are still making it expand. The great dreamer still has a reason for this.